Hello everybody, welcome back to Clear Surf Financial Education. Carl Keister here. Today I thought I would bring to you the differences between 401ks, a traditional 401k, and a Roth 401k. And then we'll also get into Roth IRA versus traditional IRA. And then what most people don't talk about is what if you have both? Are you able to do both? And then I'm going to wrap up with how it affects your Social Security, which some of you might not be thinking about that right now. But those of you that are closer to retirement, it will impact your Social Security, how much of those benefits are taxable. So you want to stay to the end. Give me a thumbs up if you like the information. That knows that that way I know I'm doing the right thing. And I'll try to bring these topics to you as currently and as accurately as I can. So let's start talking about the first is the 401k, because that's what most people are aware of. A lot of companies offer 401k. You sign up with what percent you want to put in. Most people put in at least what the company matches, which I recommend. If the company's offering a 3% or 5% match, you want to do that because that's free money coming in. But above and beyond that, then you have to start thinking, and a lot of people don't. They just put in 5% or 10% or whatever the case may be because they've been told that's what you should do, put money into a traditional 401k. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that might make you want to think differently. So let's get right into that. Let's just say you have a 401k and you know that if you're under 50 years of age, you can put in $19,500 per year. And if you're 50 or older, you can put in another $6,500. So a total of $26,000 a year you can put into your 401k. So if you're married filing joint, then you can put away $52,000 that you can shelter from taxes in the current year. Now this is really important, especially if you've got a bonus coming or you have income coming from somewhere that might push you into another bracket. So you might be pushed from the 15 to the 22 or the 24%. You could save a few percent in the current year by using your 401k, just kind of reduce your income, but you have to keep an eye on that because you might have to change that as the year goes on. So keep in mind, if you put the money in the 401k, you're saving money today, which is the lowest tax rate of my lifetime, lowest tax environment of my lifetime, but then you're going to pay it later, which we don't know what that's going to be. Now, fewer companies offer a 401k, Roth 401k plan. Now that would be money going in, you'd get no tax break in the current year, but the money comes out tax-free. And if you're beyond 59 and a half, no penalties, the money comes out. And we'll talk about that towards the end, how that can affect your Social Security. But I just want to get back and stay on par here first, that just so we understand the 401k, you put the money in, you save taxes now, reduce your tax burden in this current year, but you'll pay it later. 401k Roth plan, you will not get a tax break now, but you'll benefit when you pull the money out tax-free. Okay, so now let's start looking at the traditional IRA versus the Roth IRA, and then we'll compare the both. So traditional IRA, so if you have an employer who does not have a 401k plan, you can go to a local bank or a brokerage house, a Fidelity, Vanguard, whatever, and you can open one up. Again, those limits for 2019 and 2020, $6,000, $7,000 if you're over age 50 or older actually. So keep that in mind. So you've always got an option to put $6,000 or $7,000 away, even if you don't have a plan elsewhere. But the question comes up, which is, what if I have a plan at work and I want to put money into my own traditional IRA or Roth IRA? What is the ramifications then? So this is where it gets kind of tricky. So there are limitations. I don't see a lot of people talk about the limitations, but there are. So let me just pull up my sheet here because I'll be honest with you, you really need to look at this, and whether it be through your software or go online, look at the numbers in advance because they change the numbers every year of how much money you can put into a plan based on whether you're married or single or what your income levels are. So look at traditional IRA limits for 2019 and 2020. If you're single or head of household, if you make up to $65,000, you get a full deduction. If you make between $65,000 and $75,000, you get a partial deduction. It starts phasing out. And over $75,000, no deduction. So again, and that's if you're single or head of household. Married, it's up to 104, and then the phase out between 104 and 124, and above 124, no deduction. So again, all goes back to, do you or your spouse or partner have access to a plan at work? And if so, what is your income? Because those two factors determine whether you can put money into a traditional IRA on your own, traditional IRA or Roth IRA on your own. So keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know about that, and every year I end up having clients that will go through the taxes and then get penalized because they made too much money. They put money into a Roth IRA, and you actually get penalized from the IRS because you went over the thresholds. And not only if you go over so far, you actually get penalized. Not just do you not get a full deduction, you can actually get penalized. So you want to keep that in mind. So the best thing to do is I like to wait till close to the end of the year where you know what your income's going to be. And that can help determine should I be putting money into a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA if I have a plan at work, or do I just want to bump up the 401k towards the end of the year to help me get the best tax savings I can get. So there's just a couple of things you want to keep in mind. So I always would look at those limitations, but you just want to keep that in mind because if you're not aware of it, you can kind of hurt yourself. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is what happens in Social Security. So most people aren't aware of this. I'm going to pull up this. I have created a course that goes through this step by step. I have modules on budgeting, tax savings, retirement. There's 3 of the 6 modules in there, and one of them goes through this, how much of your Social Security benefits can actually be taxable to you in retirement, and the number might be a lot lower than you think. A lot of people aren't aware of this. So let's just take for an example, if you are someone who makes less than $25,000 a year, single, and making less than $25,000 in retirement, your Social Security benefits are tax-free. But if you make between 25 and 34, they start taxing your Social Security benefits. And if you make over 34,000, that's it, over 34,000 income, dividends, income, other pensions, whatever it may be, over 34, up to 85% of your benefits are taxable as a single individual. Now, 4 to 44, it phases out, and over 44, 85% of your Social Security benefits are taxable. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't think about that. So that's why I go back to the conversation in the beginning. If I think I'm in a rising rate environment, which I think we're going to have to raise taxes. I think we almost have to. We're $27 trillion in debt. I don't think taxes are going to go down from here. It's the lowest of my lifetime. I think it's only going to go up. So if you're funding that Roth IRA that you get to pull out income tax free in retirement, and that's keeping your Social Security benefits from not being taxable, that is a huge factor that not many people talk about. Only the people that pay a lot of money sit down with an advisor to talk about. We even hear about this subject. So I'm giving it to you right now and letting you know that these are the things that I can bring to you. So please give me a thumbs up, and just keep in mind, there's always options, and you want to play these options out. If you want to get in touch with me, you can hit the link. I have a website over on the right-hand side where it shows you how to access the course. And from the course, it walks you through all these different modules that I've talked about, where I talk about budgeting. I go into tax savings, which you can save money right now. We talk about risk management, which is life insurance, disability, long-term care. What's the difference, and what should you be aware of? I go through investments, whether it be stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, and cash. Talk about retirement planning. We just touched a little bit on retirement planning now. Everybody thinks about putting money away for retirement, but no one really thinks about the consequences of pulling money out in retirement. And what order should I take my money out? And well, if I would have put money into a Roth IRA instead of a traditional IRA, wow, my Social Security benefits would not be taxable right now when I need the money the most in retirement. Doesn't get talked about. And then module 6 is estate planning. Do you have documents in place, the wills, trust, power of attorney, medical directive? You hear stories all the time about the actor that Superman, that in real life fell off a horse and was paralyzed and was never able to act or was never able to walk again. We really don't know what the future is going to bring, but it's so important to know that you have the documents in place to take care of the people that you care about and you love the most. So, and then the last module of that course is actually sitting down with me, and this whole course, this whole package, you'll see it over, is $47. 1 hour to meet with me. If I can help you get your budget on pace, help you save money on taxes, if I can help steer you to which retirement vehicle you should be working with to get the best bang for your buck, and also to avoid paying tax on Social Security, we can talk about all those things. So click on the link, go look for yourself. I think it's an amazing value. And if you want to see any other topics that I've touched on in more detail, let me know in the comments, and I'll know what videos you want me to do going forward. And also, like I say, please take a look at the course, give it a thumbs up, And I'll see you on the next video. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.